Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. I've got so many questions asked of me in the last little while on how you can join the HyperLiquid ecosystem. So I've decided to make a very simple onboarding video. Hopefully this answers the majority of the questions that you have. I'll try to make this as simple as possible and show you the key steps. And if you have any other questions, please post in the comments below and I will be happy to answer those questions. With that being said, just remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Please do your own research. I'm just a guy on YouTube, but please also support me at the same time. So hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter. And if you want to see what I'm doing on EVM, check out my wallet on DeBank. Now, we have seen an incredible amount of growth in the HyperLiquid EVM. It still hasn't really expanded out beyond the regular perpetual DEX, but there's so much coming. And what we've started to see, and most of you should know this by now, but the Solana trenches were very PvP, very predatory. And the HyperLiquid chart literally just looks like it's going straight up. This is the hype token ever since launch, which, by the way, they launched it at like a penny just to help people not have to claim some incredible amount of taxes and be forced to sell. Well, the token has, from the actual list price around $2 to $3, it's gone up about 9 to 10x, and this is being part of that incredible airdrop program. Remember, no VCs got any tokens. They didn't give them to exchanges. The only way to get tokens for now was to pry them out of the cold hands of their biggest supporters. Now, I've already made a video on navigating the HyperLiquid spot ecosystem that didn't really cover the HyperLiquidX application, which is what we're going to go to today. But I've included the link to this video if you want to check it out as well, because I do think there's a massive opportunity. So the first thing you have to do is actually navigate to the HyperLiquid app. When you do that, you'll be asked to accept their terms and conditions, but you also may see a sort of error message. And this error message has to do with the fact that you might be in a district or you live in a country that is restricted to using HyperLiquid. Now, you have two options there. One option is to say, okay, well, I guess I can't partake in this incredible opportunity. Or the other, which is not legal advice, by the way, is you can download a VPN and set your location to, I don't know, the UAE, for example, or many other locations like Turkey, where you will be able to use HyperLiquid. I leave that decision up to you. Let's say we've now gotten past that. Well, you will need Arbitrum USDC to access the platform. Now, the first thing I just want to reemphasize for you right now is Arbitrum is the only way to get into HyperLiquid. It doesn't matter if you got cash on Base, on Linea, on Scroll. I mean, you know, obviously I'm just joking. No one's got cash on Scroll right now, but you're going to have to find to sort of get that USDC or that funds over onto Arbitrum. I'll show you how to do that. But this is how the general platform looks. You see here, we got the Hype USDC token as the dropdown. You can literally, go back to it later. I'm going to show you how you can select for it. But what I want you to do is click this portfolio tab on the top. If you're wondering why I'm using screenshots here, it's because I have to use a VPN when I'm doing mine, and it would literally kill this recording. So please bear with me. So you hit the portfolio button. It will take you here. You see you have $0. Volume, this is a new wallet that I created for this demonstration. To deposit, you'll have to click the establish connection button. Once you've done that, it will ask you to sign something, and then you can deposit USDC if you have it on Arbitrum in your wallet. Keep in mind, it takes about 5 minutes for it to show up on chain. Sometimes it happens very much sooner. You can also hit withdraw and also sort of withdraw the funds from your account at any time. Just keep in mind that it does charge a 1 USDC fee in order to withdraw the tokens. Now, before we get into actually funding the account, because, let's say you already have it, fantastic, then you're good to go. But I want to make sure you guys don't make a mistake that I made. Whenever you sign up for HyperLiquid, regardless of whose code you use, you should enter a referral code. I made the mistake and did not do that when I signed up in the summer. And after a certain trading volume, I believe $10,000, you can no longer come back in here and enter a code. So once again, you establish the connection and you can enter a code. I'll provide my code here, as well as I'll also provide the link to sort of get into HyperLiquid with it. So if you can use it, basically whoever's code you use gets 10% of the referred user fees, but the person who uses the code will receive a 4% discount. So obviously, if you want to support the channel, you can use my code. You don't have to. You can use codes from other people as well. Honestly, I won't be hurt. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you're using someone's code so you get that 4% discount, because it does add up. Now that we've done that, now that you've gone ahead and sort of added the code in here, you'll be able to create your own code later by clicking the create code button, but you'll need to have at least $10,000 worth of volume to do that, and then you can refer people. Now, if you want to sort of send funds over, my number one recommended way to do this is through Jumper Exchange. As you guys know, they got like an airdrop program of sorts, or sort of a rewards program with XP. What you want to do is you want to make sure you have ETH on Arbitrum as well. So if you have ETH on another chain, you can basically go here, select which chain you want. I'm going to select Base. I'll pick ETH. I'll go over here. I'll pick Arbitrum, and I'll pick ETH over here. And I can send like, let's say I send 0.2 ETH over, okay? Once this happens, I will select from the options. As you guys know, if you watch the channel, I like picking Stargate when it's also like, a decently good price, because we're farming the layer 0 airdrop. I'll click this button, hit the start bridging. It'll do it. It'll take a minute or so, and it'll confirm. Once that's happened, I then go on Arbitrum. I now have my ETH. In this case, I got 2.1. I will then convert some of that ETH to USDC on here. And you want to make sure you pick the USDC that ends in 2913, or just the regular USDC. I'll put the 0.2 that I bridged over. Leave a bit of gas. I think I would have had 0.01 ETH of gas left in that scenario. I will then get $799. I picked the Mayan approach. Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. Sorry, guys. You've got to pick Arbitrum and then USDC. You got to make sure it's in the same chain. I almost made the mistake. And the contract address for USDC on Arbitrum is actually ending in 5831. Don't pick the wormhole one. Don't pick any of these others. Pick this one, okay? Then we do that same transaction. You'll also know the big flag to know you did it right is it's a review swap and not a review bridge. So you do this, you go to Sushi Swap or Kyber Swap or whatever. So we'll do this. I'll pick 1 inch. I'll hit the start swapping. It'll do it. It'll take some time, and then I'll have USDC. Concurrently, you can also go to the bridge and do the same thing. You can basically do cross-chain swaps on here just like you do on Jumper. So it's really whichever way you want to do it. Just make sure you pick the sort of source, wherever you want to be. So if the source is Avalanche and AVAX and your destination is, Ethereum on Arbitrum, you do that as well. And it'll do the cross-chain swap for you. Just keep in mind there are some fees depending on where you're going from and depending on price, impact, and slippage. So I like sort of Jumper because it makes it very simple. But hey, depending if you want to farm the bridge, go ahead and do that because I know season 2 is live. Once you've done that, go back in to HyperLiquid, right? You've received the USDC on your account. Establish the connection and hit deposit. Now all that's left to do is go back to the trade screen, and you can literally see the Hype token listed out and says spot. Well, if you click this button for Hype, you then see a drop down and you have this option of in spot going for all coins. So you can see here, there's a ton of coins. You can select through them. Once you've selected it, you can then go to the right of the screen, do a market order or a limit order. There are less fees for limit orders because you're helping them sort of make their order book. You can also sort of get more stricter tokens, which are sort of more safe. So you click strict and you see all these tokens end up showing up. You got Hype, which is the token that everyone wants to get right now. You got Jeff, who's the founder of HyperLiquid or the CEO, and you got a bunch of other tokens. I like Per a lot. This is the sort of top meme coin here. You see their market caps and everything, and same process. But let's say instead you want to do perpetuals. You click on perpetuals over here. And then once again, you type in a token you want because there's a list of a ton. I typed in ETH. I click here, ETH USD, and I can do the same thing as well. And that's pretty simple. So now you sort of know how to onboard it. There's some more complexities. This is not meant to be a full user guide on HyperLiquid and everything, but I hope this helps you get started. As always, just remember, I'm here to help support you throughout this entire bull run, trying to make a goal of making at least one video a week. So please leave in the comments below if there's any topics you want me to cover. Like I said, I'm here to make sure you guys succeed during this bull run. If you could please help me out, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.